Daniel. Dan.
I'm Dudley.
I got distracted in the middle of all that.
Yeah, I noticed. I was kind of messed up because some reason my audio wasn't playing on the music track, so I didn't hear the music at all, so I had nothing to gauge when it was going to start. I was just like, he's going to yell, and I'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes.
Yep. Most time I don't even put it on there. I'm just like, whatever. I don't need to hear the theme song.
Yeah.
So
welcome to Deaf and Dumb.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. The only show, as far as I'm concerned.
There are other shows.
There are maybe other shows.
Better shows.
The only podcast, as far as I'm concerned. This is coming from someone who listens to several podcasts.
I was to say, I listen to several as well. I can make many recommendations.
Yeah.
All of which I am caught up on, so I can't. I had nothing to listen to right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna listen to my own show. That's just dumb.
No. Who would do that?
No,
I don't do that.
You edit the show and you don't. Listen to it.
Yeah. I check it. I do a once over to make sure, like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, all right, I'm done.
It's not messed up. And
it's
10 minutes later, not messed up. It's good. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's solid. It's solid. How's your week been?
It's been a long week. I worked a lot of hours this week, and so I'm tired.
Yeah.
I slept today, so that helps.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been good. I haven't played a lot. Actually, I played a little bit of some Mario Kart.
Oh yeah.
And a little bit of Zelda.
Yeah. You still haven't finished it yet?
No, I haven't. But I'll get to it.
Yeah.
But I have some motivation now.
Yeah.
Because yesterday, I went, or no, not yesterday. The day before yesterday, it was Friday. I got a new amiibo.
Oh yeah, amiibo.
Because the Majora's Mask Link came out Friday, and at Best Buy, so you could get them. I was not able to go to the store because I was at work.
Yeah.
But fortunately, our brother Robert,
Brab,
Brab,
good old Brab.
His wife was going to go get him one because she's a teacher and so she's not working right now because summer and stuff.
Yeah, stuff in summer.
Yeah, and so she was free to go to Best Buy and pick it up. Well, actually, what happened was she went to Best Buy and they didn't have it. They were sold out, or they apparently didn't get any.
Oh, okay.
And then, but she was able to pay for one because they looked it up and they had them in the store in another place that's right down the road from where I work, and right down the road from where Robert works too, because we work on the same street. Yeah. And so we she went ahead and paid for them, and all I had to do was just walk into Best Buy and go, "Hey, I'm here to pick up this."
Hey,
and,
give me that.
Give me
that.
this.
I want it.
I even took my wallet out to pay for it, not realizing, she already paid for it. I don't even have to do that.
Yeah.
I just had to give them my ID to prove that I was who I was, because they take this very seriously.
Yeah, of course. I mean, people go nuts. I was in Shreveport when this happened, and so I was let's swing by a Best Buy and see if they got one. And they didn't have one. I didn't see one anywhere. So
did you ask?
No, I don't ask.
Did you talk to a human?
No.
You didn't talk to a human being?
I don't.
I talked to the human being. Of course,
no, I don't
do
that. No, I don't. If I can avoid it, I don't talk to humans.
The human.
Humans. I just I don't see it. I just assume it doesn't exist.
Well, you're going to be disappointed a lot then.
Well, I mean, it's mostly true.
No, I don't know if it is.
Yeah,
I don't think it is.
No.
Well, it's funny because picked it up and I asked him. I was like, "Well, I better ask." I was like, "Do y'all have any more of them?" Because I was thinking about you and our buddy Ham Ham, and I thought, because I knew y'all had got one and y'all might be interested. So I was like, if they have extra ones, I'll grab them. And of course they didn't. The woman working there said she checked 2 hours ago. They had 2 of them, which were the 2 that me and Rob got.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
So we got the last one. So thank you, Rob's wife,
Sam,
as she is known,
Brob's
in the real
wife,
world.
The Brob wife, Lady Brob,
for doing that for me. And so I have a new amiibo. I have 2 of them now, and they are both Zelda themed.
I'll just scan yours and be done with it.
Yeah. Well, I've already done it once. I need to do it again today. And I got a special armor that you get exclusively from that amiibo or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I've got the armor part, so I need to do it some more and try to get the full set of armor. I can't remember which one it is now. I've forgotten.
It must have not been that great.
It's not. It's just I don't have the whole thing yet. I can't give my opinion until I have the full set. Try it out.
Yeah,
see how it looks. Feel how it moves.
Okay.
And
why are you twisting in your chair like you're actually wearing it?
I gotta feel the movement. You gotta move about, and I'm doing a Chris Farley like.
Yeah.
Shuffle
fat
thing.
man in a little coat thing.
Fat man, yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was excited to get that because every time one of these amiibos comes out, I never get them.
Yeah, I looked, but I was like, I'm not gonna get one probably.
Yeah.
I was in Shreveport. Our father.
Yeah, father.
Father and I went over to Shreveport. Went to the boats. I did some gambling.
Should we explain to our audience, for the people who are not near the Louisianas, what the boats are?
Well, it's gambling boats. I mean,
yeah.
In the old days.
Is that a known thing?
I think everybody knows that.
Is that a common nomenclature?
Yeah, I believe so. But for those who are uninformed,
uneducated.
No, uninformed,
Uneducated.
ill-informed. I suppose.
I like my word better.
The boats is the casino, and in the old days they had to be on water to be legal, so they put them on boats, and then they just stuck them. They were on the river, they sat next to the building hotels, and now they're permanently attached. Yeah, it's legal to be on land, so they're just permanently attached to the hotels, and you walk onto a boat. And so Dad and I went and played some slot machines, and I ended up we both were gonna run $100 through a machine. We had a system where we figured out it was 75 cents per spin, and we were gonna do on $100 at the 133 spins, and and that's what we were gonna do, and then be done. And so we were gonna do that
play
many
the
spins
money through, and then have a nice spot to stop.
Yeah. So we're gonna do 133 spins and then stop. So we sat there. We found our slot, and we planned it ourselves, and we started going through them. And I was staying pretty even the whole time. I was coming back up every time. And we both stayed even for a while. In fact, there was one point where we both got exactly the same hit. Like I had 2 double bars and a single bar, and he had the exact same thing. And we had the same amount of coins in the machine. It was really weird. I took a picture of it. And then we were playing it, and then he started kind of lagging behind, so he ended up losing, a quarter of his money. I ended up finishing with $99.25.
So you lost 75 cents.
I lost 75 cents.
So you lost. lost.
In the
lost.
loosest sense of the term, yes.
Yes.
But
but
I did
not come away with more money.
You haven't let me finish the story. We
You've
then
lost.
went over. You haven't let me finish. We then went over to the there's a Wheel of Fortune machine in which we like to play, and it played a little more, and we each put a 20. Dad put a 20 in, lost it. I put a 20 in. And after a couple of them, I got a spin, which is, it gives you this big golden wheel thing that spins around. And so I did that. And then I ended up $10 up. So I ended up pulling $30 out of the machine. And so I ended up ahead $9 and 25 cents.
All right.
So I won.
You weren't a loser. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying I won.
Yeah, exactly. So you're claiming not to be a loser.
But right. we did witness something else because the machines we were playing on it's progressive over time. The big jackpot that you can get off of them slowly crawls and gets progressively bigger. And so there's a little number hanging over you that's just like growing, and it was like 30. They started at like 37,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And this elderly woman, she was probably in her 70s, sat down in the middle of this row of machines, and she was on a roll. Like, she was just hitting, like, I think she had $50 in the machine. She hit a big one and won $100, and then she hit a couple other good ones, and she was just on a roll. And we're like, wow, she's doing really well. And then all of a sudden, Dad goes, she got it. And I turned and looked, and she hit the 3 doubles that you get to get the progressive, and she won the 30. It was like $3,800.
3,800 or 38,000?
3,800. So $3,800.
You said 30,000 earlier.
I did not.
So yes,
I
you
did not.
It's on tape. We can go back. We can go back.
I totally said 3,800.
All right, listeners. I want you to go back and see that I'm right, and send us a message saying that Dudley was right, Daniel was wrong. And you don't even have to tell what it's about. Just tell us that.
No.
And we'll be fine.
That's not going to happen.
But yeah, so she won $38,000.
No, she won $3,800. And she was all like, I don't think she fully understood what happened, and we were explaining it to her, and I gave her a high five, and then we went off and did the Wheel of Fortune machine, came back, and she was back to playing with the money she had before, and she was already hitting a bunch more. She was just on fire. And I'm like,
just picked the wrong machine.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I should have picked that machine.
Yeah.
So it was fun. That was my little bit of gaming in the Las Vegas sense of the word.
Well, yeah, that's or the Louisiana one for us.
Yeah. Do you play anything else this week?
I did. I played. So I talked about it last week that there was a possibility that I would be involved with a D&D game.
Yeah.
And that happened. We played yesterday.
Okay.
So we played for 2 or 3 hours.
Oh yeah.
So it was me, Cusley, our cousin Ashley, and then her siblings. Mm-hmm. So her 2 sisters and her brother.
Okay.
So all our cousins.
All the cousins.
And playing the game, and her dad was running the game.
Okay.
So our uncle was was DMing the game. It's classical D&D, 3.5, so old edition.
Yeah.
Which I haven't played in years.
Yeah. Did you slip right back in it? Did you? Is it like riding a bicycle?
There's parts of it that I was like, yes, just coming back to me. But then there are parts of it I'm like, it's different because I'm used to the way we play, and we're very casual, and we kind of go with the flow.
Yeah.
I had to get used to our uncle's play style, and he.
Oh yeah.
The things he makes a point about are not necessarily the things that we make a point about.
Oh yeah.
So like, just for example, like I there was a chest, like a broken chest, and I was going to look at it. Being a rogue, I'm a halfling rogue.
And you like money, as always.
Yeah,
we've covered this.
So I went to the chest and I searched it. And he said, and I rolled a search check, and he's like, oh, that's fine. Yeah, there's nothing that, you don't find anything. I was like, okay, I open it. Well, it triggered a trap. Because I didn't specify search for trap.
Really?
Yeah.
He's one of those.
So I had to so I was like, okay, all right. So you're gonna play it that way, all right. So I had.
On the one hand, that doesn't surprise me though, knowing him.
It's not a big deal. I mean, it is if you go back to like old school D&D. That's what you do. We're just very relaxed about it, but I mean, he's not like nitpicky about everything. It's just like more of the playing stuff like that. So like me being a rogue, I search for traps, so I make sure to specify I'm searching this door.
What else are you searching for?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I thought too. But if he wants to play it, I was like, it's your game. We'll play it however you want to play it. And so he, which everyone else is new, never played 3.5.
Yeah.
They played a little bit of 5th edition.
Yeah.
But obviously 5th and 3.5 are very different.
Are different. Yes.
5th
edition's a little simpler. And easier to be introduced to, I think.
Yeah.
Not quite as simple as like 4th edition, but it's not. There's a lot more. It seems like there's a lot more rules and math and stuff you got to worry about in 3.5 that they kind of did away with in 5th.
Yeah, well, they did away big time in 4th edition.
Oh yeah.
And 5th edition brought some of it back, but kind of still kept it simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had to kind of relearn how to do everything, and there was a lot of going back to the books to look up stuff, which, if you remember 3.5, that's the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, it was really bad about that, because everyone pretty much had a player's handbook beside them at most time, or at least there was always a couple of them on the table, so we could, someone was always looking something up.
Yeah, we had 2 of them, because I came home for the day, or I made a day trip with them back to your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
And so we dug out the D&D box with all the books in it that Robert had accumulated over the years.
Yeah, Rob owns like almost a complete set. I
would say he owned most of them. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't
know
cataloged
which one he doesn't.
them. Yeah, I have been the keeper of it for some years now.
Yeah.
I know I talked to him about it, but I don't know. I cannot it seems to me like we had discussed maybe some arrangement where I would take ownership, but I'm not sure if that was just something I thought about or we talked about or if that actually happened, because my memory is unreliable. But basically, I've had them in my possession, so I just assume they're mine now.
Well,
they're mine until he comes and asks
for them. Yeah, he listens to the show, so I'm sure you'll be hearing from him.
Yeah, he'll be calling me tomorrow.
You'll be getting some clarification. and I have part of them now. I grabbed the Player's Handbook, the Player's Handbook 2, Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Monster Manual. And then a rogue book as well, which I'm looking at. I probably won't have much use for now that I've looked at it, but it's cool. They're all learning the system, so they don't know, they're still learning, and there's a lot of like them all talking over each other. I mean, the Cusley is 20, almost 21, and they go down from there. So and there's like 18 and. I can't remember the other two.
I don't know.
12 is the youngest. 16.
I don't know.
Anyway, so ranging from 20 to 12. So it's a big stroke. And then I'm the 30-year-old, and then their dad's much older.
Yeah.
But, so it was fun. We had a good time. They all are anxious to play again. In fact, if one of them wasn't gone this evening, we probably would have played again today. But we gotta wait for Cam to come back. So I think we're gonna play next Saturday. That's the word. So
cool.
I might have a little regular game going, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I kind of threw the idea at him about guest starring, but I don't know if it just I guess if I happen to come up or down whenever y'all happen to be playing or something. I'm jealous because I like having a regular game, and I haven't had a regular game in forever. So
yeah. It seems like I don't know. I know we were trying to do it Saturday because I know they're going to be pretty busy throughout the summer, so it may be a while after that before we play again. But I'm sure he would let you make a guest appearance if we are able to come down for it.
Yeah.
But it was fun. They had a good time. We're all still learning. We're all still making. I'm relearning it. They were learning it, and we're all making little mistakes and stuff. But our group has already just murdered like 2 people. Like both of them were in captivity.
Wait, okay. When you say murdered, it implies that they were innocent.
Let me give you a tip. Okay, so one of them was chained to a wall. The other one was in a prison cell.
Okay.
And we killed them.
Okay, so y'all found 2 people who were captive and killed them.
Yep. Well, there's more details than that. They were
murder.
Evil. They were evil. So the whole setup of this story is, or this campaign is that we're in this evil world, basically.
Okay.
And we're like, they're like 60% of the people in this world or no, like 30% of the people in this world are evil, and then like 60% are neutral or something like that. He told me the percentage, but I can't remember. So there are very few good people, and we're one of them's group. So, but
this sounds like a cult, where you're like, we're the only good people. You should only trust us. Kill that guy.
Well, they were evil, so because Cam is a paladin.
Are you? I mean, I know D&D has its alignment system, but it sounds an awful lot like to me that on the scale of morality, you guys are evil, and those poor people were just prisoners.
Well, we were told after we had murdered them that they would have turned on us because one.
Oh, okay.
So the whole thing is it starts out we're all enslaved basically.
Okay.
And from one way or another. In fact, my guy was a slave. And he has a mark on his forehead, apparently. I need to get more detail of what that looks like. But that marks me as a slave. And we were all thrown into a pit.
It's very Brandon Sanderson's book, Way of Kings. What's the name of that series?
I'm not familiar with it.
Well, I've only read part of the first book. I haven't gone around to it. But yeah, the main guy... The main guy is like, well, one of the main characters in the story is a guy who's been enslaved, and he's got like a brand on his forehead or whatever.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so, anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well,
this is apparently a campaign
the first book in the series.
Our uncle, a friend of our uncle's has made, at least the first couple of them are ones his friends made, and so he's running it for us, and then I think we'll eventually go into like actual... like a series that was actually produced or whatever, published.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play pre-made, I think, later on. But this one's pre-made by a friend, so
okay, cool.
It's not like you can just go out and buy this game.
But it's a custom game.
Yeah, it's a custom game. But so we're thrown into this pit, which the only reason we survived is because I pickpocketed someone.
No, of course.
There was a purse swinging, and I grabbed it. And when we fell, we basically slowed down before we hit the ground because in this game there are these things called aviation stones.
Okay.
Which I don't know if they exist in D&D. I assume they don't. This is something specifically made for this this world that we're inhabiting. It's these rare gems that are sought after that are. Will basically do feather fall, allow you to fly and fall slowly and stuff like that. So there happened to be one in the bag that I stole.
Oh.
And that's the only reason we survived.
Okay.
And then we fought some skeletons down in the pit, and I had to crawl through a hole. And we split the party, which was not a good idea.
Never a good idea.
But there was a tiny hole, and I was the halfling, and I was the only one who could fit through it.
And so they stuffed you in there.
So I crawled through it, and I went and found some tools so we could dig our way through. And and then we found the room that had a gnome who was chained to the wall, who had been tortured, and then there was an orc in a cell, and then kobolds. As always, it's always
kobolds with the
These
first
low
level.
first level monsters. But
so let me make sure I understand. You and your compatriots, played by our cousin, are criminals who have been enslaved because of your criminal activity, and then thought, oh, these aren't even worth to be slaved. We're throwing them in this pit because they are terrible people. Then you fight because you stole stuff, survived, and then you went on to murder some innocent imprisoned people that allegedly, according to yourselves, would have turned on you. But I swear they would have turned on us. So it's morally okay that we murdered them, even though they were chained to the wall.
Here's the thing: the gnome wanted to take us back to the top. He said, "Oh, let's go back to the top. You will get a reward for saving it and for telling." Because apparently the kobolds digging down there are not connected with the people that we were enslaved with. In fact, they're mining unbeknownst to the people above. So they're stealing the gems and stuff out from under them, basically.
Yeah, okay.
So the gnome wanted to take us back to the people that had enslaved us.
Yeah.
Which I immediately said, that's a bad idea. But
because you're a criminal.
was fine with just leaving them chained up, tied up in the cells, and going our separate ways. But our paladin did detect evil and found that they were evil, and they decided as a group to kill them. So I was just like, okay, that's the way we're going to play this. All right.
I've always mistrusted paladins. I'm just saying. They're claiming they're detecting evil, but how do you know? Do you see evil? What does evil look like? He could just be like, detect person, and then they're glowing, and then you just murder them.
It's a gray area.
Let's call it that.
Like I said, I was not for killing them, but I wasn't against it either. But if you want to talk about gray areas, before all this has happened, I was searching the caverns or whatever, the tunnels, trying to find tools for digging. And I found a big room with some boxes. And some kobolds off digging to one side, and I, being this, stealthy little halfling, I snuck my way in and found some tools, and I took those back, and so they could start digging their way out. I might have found some other things that I chose to keep to myself.
Wait, how did y'all play this? Were you did the cousins, were they in the room when you were doing this, or
they were at the table.
They just listened to you go, I'm not telling them about this, and they're sitting there listening to it. So they got a good taste of what rogues are doing a lot.
Yes, and also a lesson in metagaming.
So did any of them try to try?
Yeah, go ahead.
Try to be like, oh, I'm gonna search your pockets or something for no reason. And,
no,
did Nathan?
No, they were actually handled it pretty well. They accepted that they knew, but their characters did not. So I have like roughly 200 gold pieces worth of gems right now.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm richer than I have ever been. My character's super rich now. He's gone from he'd never seen a gold piece to having 200 gold piece worth. And that's these uncut gems. So if I had them cut, they would be worth twice that much.
Oh wow! Yeah. So you're gonna come out of this cave a criminal, but a wealthy criminal.
I'm still good. You know, I'm for the greater good. We're doing
Is it you taking gems and not telling your compatriots is good?
Okay. I'm gonna share some of it with them.
Oh, okay.
Some of it.
The fact that you said some.
You know, we'll be set when we get out of this situation we're in. We'll be able to buy. I'll be able to give them enough to be like, all right, let's get some gear, get some, settled up, and then we'll go from there.
And you come strutting through in a purple suit and a big hat and a cane.
No. It's gonna be black. I'm a rogue. I don't need no flashiness.
Yeah.
That's unless it's weekend wear. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I'm kind of jealous that you're playing, but you know.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
It is what it is.
I played a few games. I've been playing a few games. I played a couple of things with Gary this week. I played with our buddy Gary. I played Star Realms, which I've played before. Have you played it?
I don't think so.
It's the little card game. Yeah, I talked about it on here before, I believe. But it's a card game where it's kind of like it was made by a bunch of Magic players, and basically it's instead of building a deck or whatever, you have like a fixed deck, and you start with a basic starting hand of starting deck of stuff that everyone has, and then you just lay cards out that you're drawing, and what you do is you draw up 5 cards, you look at it, and there's basically 2 resources that you use in a game for the most part. I call them coins and pain.
Coins and
money
pain?
and pain. Money and pain, because you have gold coins, which you use to buy from the pool of cards that are on the table in front of you, which everyone's drafting from, and then you have
it's kind of a deck builder, right? Like
it is a deck builder.
So like Dominion and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dominion and a paperback and those kind of games. So you're buying the cards off the table to put in your deck that you can draw. But it's really cool because you draw a hand of like 5 cards and you throw them down, and then you use the resources you get out of those 5 cards right then. So, and then there's also like bases that you can build that stay on the table until they get destroyed, and they actually protect you. But both players have 50 health. And you're dealing damage either to their bases or to them, and the bases basically just shield you from damage. So you can have a guard one, and
so the bases are just cannon fodder.
Well, the bases are like, there are certain types. There's some that you don't have to attack the player, but there are some that are like that you have to destroy them before you can damage anything else. They kind of block for everything.
Oh, okay.
And then both players has, I think, 50 health, and we just hit on each other until one of us runs out of health, and that's the game. And it's really cool because there's like 4 factions in the game that you can combo off each other. So like if I have like the blue, there's the blob, they're the green faction, and they
wait a minute.
Yeah,
there's a faction called the Blob.
They're a race of blob people. I don't know.
And that's the name they chose for themselves?
I don't know if that's what they chose to call themselves. But that's
the English name of their race?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it's like an offensive term to them. But but anyway, so like if I have 2 of those types of cards, and when I draw, they combo off each other. So I can play that one and get resources, and then play this one and get resources. But usually they'll both have like, if you played another one, you get to activate an extra thing. So you do more damage, or you get more money, or you can draw a card. You get special things, so little combos. But it's
kind of a you're drawing cards, you're deck building, but you're also trying to create combinations to do a bunch of stuff at once, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's 4 different factions. They all kind of have their own thing. Like, one of them kind of focuses on healing and one of them kind of focuses on making the person discard cards, which are the two I picked. And then there's like the two kind of heavy military one. One like makes the can destroy some, discard some of their cards to gain stuff, and the blob can just get a lot of combo to deal up a bunch of damage by having a lot. There's different ways they play, and so what you end up doing is just whichever one you end up buying, you kind of want to buy more of that color, and then you end up buying like two of them. You don't want to go more than two, I don't think.
You don't want to diversify too much.
Yeah, you don't want to diversify that much. You're probably gonna end up going after two just because you get a table full of different colors, and you just have to buy one. But then you also buy cards that other colors just to block what the other player is doing too. So there's been several times where Gary was buying yellow cards, and he would buy some of them just to keep me from getting them. Of course, then he would turn around and trash them for stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool game, and I really like it. And every time I kind of forget about it, and then every time I play it, I'm like, I really like this. And I have the mobile. It's on mobile. You can get if it's on iOS for free, you can get it.
Oh, really?
And play it.
So I could get it.
Yeah. So you
on iPhone.
Yeah, you can get it right now.
You?
I don't know. I guess we can play with each other. I know you can play against computers. I'm not sure if it has multiplayer or not.
Well,
I haven't tried that. It has just a. Well, you can play against a computer, and that's I don't actually know. I haven't looked. Maybe I don't know.
So much information.
I don't know. I wasn't prepared for that question. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to plead the fifth.
It wasn't a question. You brought it up.
I gotta plead the fifth.
You brought up the fact that there was a mobile edition. I didn't even know.
Yeah,
about
I didn't know. I didn't take into account that maybe you would want to play against me on the mobile version.
Well, what's it called again?
Star Realms.
Star Realms. Okay.
Yeah,
I will look it up on iOS, and then we will figure out if we can play with each other.
Yeah. They also make another version. They make another version called Hero Realms.
Okay.
And it's like a kind of a fantasy version of it. And I'm really intrigued because you buy the set for Star Realm, you get enough for 2 players.
Oh, okay,
I think you can play with 4 players, but you have to buy another set. While Hero Realms comes in the box ready for 4 players.
Oh, nice.
And it's only like $15. So I'm probably gonna buy it. I'm probably gonna order it.
The Hero Realms one?
Yeah, just to have a set of it and to try it out because I like Star Realms a lot. But Gary's got a copy of it, so you can play it there. So I'm probably gonna end up putting in an order for Hero Realms just to get a copy.
Oh, cool.
And we'll have to try it out.
How's the art on it? Yeah, they're cards, right? So what's
the cards. I mean, it's good. It's not bad.
Yeah.
At least the Star Realms. I mean, it's nothing like I don't know. I didn't get blown away by it, but it's good. I like it. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay. All right. That's all the questions I got.
Okay. We also played a game called Titans Tactics.
Titans Tactics.
Yeah.
Have you talked about this one? I think you've talked about this one.
I don't think so. I'd never played it before.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. It just sounded like something else. It was a game.
I think Gary got it one year from PAX from the developers. He met them and watched them play it, and hung out with them, and they thought they were cool, so he bought it.
Okay.
So
all right.
Yeah, and I had not played it, heard of it, and he showed it to me. But it has a grid that a little board you lay on the table, and it's got a little grid that you play on, and then you pick. You pick there's different factions, and then you pick 3 of their heroes, I guess you could call them, 3 of the characters out of it, and they all have their own little style. But you basically have 3-on-3, like one play per turn, taking turns to move a character, to activate a character, and you basically you get a move, and then you get 2 actions, and then you can push to get a 3rd action, but you burn more cards. You have a set of cards well, it's really weird because you have a set of colored cards. I'm rambling. I forgot it. It has a really strange mechanic. Like most games where you have cards that are your actions, and you draw them and see what you can do. This one doesn't quite work that. You just have a deck of the 5 or 6 colors, and everyone has 3 of each color. And then basically you look at when you draw cards, and those colors go with an action on each character. Characters need certain colors to activate their ability, and I'm doing a terrible job explaining this.
You lost me completely.
Okay, let me back up.
What's happening? I don't know.
Let me roll back. Okay,
there are cards.
You have 3.
No. Let me tell you what I know. I want to tell you what I know right now. There are colors.
Okay.
There are cards.
Okay.
And the only thing I know for sure is
that
there are 3 heroes on either side. That's it. And a grid.
Okay.
Oh, there's a grid.
Okay. There's a board where you have a tile for your character that moves around the grid. So it's a tactics game.
Okay.
Hence the name Titans Tactics. But okay. So on your character card, you have a card for your character. They have 3 abilities, and each ability has a color associated to it.
Okay.
And so you have to spend a card of that color to use that ability. Okay.
All right, I'm with you.
Well, everyone has a deck. Everyone has a deck with those colors in them, and they have 3 of each color.
All right.
And rather than drawing them randomly and seeing what you have and then making a hand and playing them, you look at the card. You can just take look at the cards you have in your deck and just pill the ones you want.
Okay.
And so, like, every time you take an activation, you get 2 actions, and then you can either push, which gives you a 3rd action, or you can plan, which lets you draw 3 more cards back into your hand, so you have more cards in your hand.
Okay.
So you can push more, but you're gonna spend more cards, and then you're gonna have cards for later actions.
Okay.
Or you can plan, and then you can just get yourself some more cards that you can then use for your other character's action. It makes sense, I swear.
Okay. So what are you trying to do? You told me there are actions, but I don't know what the actions are.
You're fighting each other. You're trying to. Here's the other weird mechanic. You're beating up on each other, right? And the way the game works is the characters don't have health. You have a track that it's like a tug of war that goes around the board.
Right.
So it starts in the middle, and I think it's 10. There's 10 markers going on each direction, and so every time I deal damage to Gary and his characters, that marker moves towards him. Okay. And then every time he deals damage to me, it goes back. It's a pushing back and forth.
Okay.
And so basically, the way the game ends, there's 3 rounds. At the end of every round, if you don't have the marker on your side, you win that. You move forward on the round tracker. And this game sounds so complicated, but it's not.
What's going on?
Basically, you need to either have 3 rounds where you don't have damage and you'll win, or you do enough damage to them to push them to 10 damage and you win. That's it.
Okay. All right. So there's a tug of war. There's colors. There's 3 heroes.
Well, heroes is a loose term because I was playing monsters.
Loose-termed heroes. Some actions. There's a grid. There's tactics involved. I think I have a fine grasp of this game.
I completely sold this game. Okay. I think I've completely sold it. Everyone wants to play it.
You sold it. How much is it? I'm going to buy it right now.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I totally prepared to explain that game.
Gary's going to be calling you and be like, "What the hell, man? What the hell?"
He'll listen to me and he'll say, "Well, you hit all the points."
You're gonna have to talk to him next week and find out his thoughts on your description of this game.
He's gonna be like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I don't know." I started talking, and then I started to remember things in the middle of talking, and that's always a bad thing.
It's better to forget while you're talking. If you're gonna be talking for a long time, it's best to forget things and then move on, not to remember things and try to fix.
Yeah.
So, what was it called again? Titan Tactic?
Titans Tactics.
Okay, Titan Tactics.
Yeah,
you've heard it
Titans
all here. It's clear as day. Go buy it.
It's a fun game. I want to play some more and try out some of the other stuff. But I was playing a bunch of weird monsters. I had a Draco Lich and a Silent Stalker, I think it was called, and then this weird abomination thing that just mutilated people. It was pretty awesome.
All right.
But
well,
yeah.
let's try to get into some news, shall we?
But Dudley, I have 2 other games I played.
All right, well, list them.
Okay, well, I did 3D pinball for the Windows. Space Cadet, you remember it? You remember it? You know what I'm talking about.
I'm very familiar. On Windows XP?
Yeah, it was on a Windows XP laptop at work.
Yeah. Oh, so you're playing games at work now?
No, I wasn't. Well, I did a couple of rounds, but some of my coworkers were competing for top score.
What are their names?
One of them, my buddy Max, who's a saint. He set a 5 million point high score on it, and the other one, Zach, has been trying to beat it and can't do it. And so that's been fun. And then I also got a copy of Myst 5. I've been playing Myst 5.
Oh, okay.
End of Ages, I believe it's called. So I've been playing. I spent a bunch of time today playing it, actually.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've played. I've only played the first one, really. And I didn't get into those games very much, but they're cool.
I played Myst. I've played Myst. I've played Riven.
Yeah.
Which was Myst 2.
Yeah.
And then I heard about Myst 3, and then which was called, I think, Exiled.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then before I remember hearing about Myst 5, and I was thinking, well, where's Myst 4? I never even heard about Myst 4.
You never heard about 4?
So I never played 3 or 4, but I had a copy of 5, so I was like, I'm gonna check it out. And so I've been playing it, and it's a Myst game. I like it. It's a newer Myst game. And it's still like 10 years old.
Yeah, I should say.
Yeah, it came out a little while ago. Yeah. So I've been playing it, and it's a little bit like nostalgia, but it's also like new to me.
It's new to me. All right.
It's new to me. It came out in 2005, so it's a 12-year-old game.
God. Yes, let's talk about a 12-year-old game.
and pinball for Windows is like 95, I think. So
yeah,
so
that's all
it's a 22-year-old game.
I remember playing that a lot. I used to be pretty good at that pinball game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had some pretty high scores on it at one point.
Oh yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly, I'm sure they're still on a computer somewhere.
Uh-huh.
And but yeah. All right. Well, let's try to get some news in, and that we can understand.
Okay.
And wrap our brains around.
Hold on. Let me explain it to you really well, and you'll get it. You'll have it down. Oh man.
It involves color.
I've never had
3 heroes.
It involves cards, colors, monsters, factions, tug of war,
a grid,
rounds, a grid. It's everything. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody.
All right. So
it sounded like I was sliding into a Matthew McConaughey.
I don't know what you were
doing. I don't know what I was doing.
Oh. All right.
All right.
So Steam Summer Sale is going on right now.
Yes.
Lots of good stuff on there.
Lots of good stuff.
Yeah, we're talking about grabbing a few things for the upcoming LAN. We finally scheduled our next LAN. So
gonna be early August, or mid-August,
August.
something like that. August.
And so we'll probably be grabbing some stuff maybe for the land. I've been tempted to grab a few things. I was just looking at the list while I was waiting on you earlier.
Oh yeah.
And there's some good stuff on there. All the normal
a lot
things.
of good stuff. Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I like the one thing I was like, man, I've been wanting to buy for the last 2 weeks isn't on sale.
Oh really?
It was the Star Trek Bridge Crew.
It's pretty new, so.
Yeah, I knew it wouldn't be. Yeah. It's only been out a few weeks, so I knew it wouldn't be. But I was like, maybe it'll be like 5% off, and I'll go ahead and get it. But nope. Nothing. Nada.
Oh.
So I'm probably still gonna buy it at some point.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you should do that.
I hear good things.
You should do that, and then I'll come in, and then we can play it together.
It doesn't work that way. You're
going
to go buy your own Vive?
You're going to sit somewhere else, and I'm going to play.
You're gonna sit in the room while I play.
Yes. While I fumble around in a chair. Here's some exciting news. I didn't realize this was happening until I read it today. Okay. Diablo 3, Rise of the Necromancer, comes out this week.
Nice. So, yeah. What day?
June 27th.
Okay. So Tuesday?
Tuesday, yes. The day after this podcast comes out, it will be available. It makes me... It makes me want to play.
It does make me want to play too.
Yeah, maybe we'll play some Diablo 3 this week.
How much is it?
$15.
Oh, that's easily worth $15.
I mean, I think all it does is add a necromancer class.
Here's the thing, though. We're both gonna play necromancers.
I probably won't actually. Well.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
You won't?
I'd be down. Okay. I'd be down to just playing. And
and I'll play a necromancer.
And
you
want
to start afresh?
Yeah, start fresh, and I'll get a new character, and you can do the necromancer, and then we'll play.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the necromancer. I like playing the necromancer in Diablo 2.
Yeah,
and it was my second favorite next to the barbarian.
The barbarian, yeah, I always play bard.
The barbarian.
I keep. Every time I go back to the Diablos, I always like, I want to play something else, but then I'm like, man, I'll just play a barb.
You're just like,
it just feels like home.
Yeah.
So maybe if I'm not working absurd amount of hours this week, we can play that. Because I need to get the DLC as well and play.
Yeah.
We need to go through it because I haven't done it yet. The expansion. I haven't done that either. And I'd like to do that, and I'd like to do the recreation of Diablo 1 as well. So that's
all of those things are fun.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of new stuff. I jumped on there, and there's like this whole like side campaign thing you can do that's
really?
Like separate from the main game. That there's this other set of like missions you can do. I don't know. I didn't really. Yeah, it's just. But you have to use a different character. You can't use the same character from your normal game in it.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to check that out because I haven't played it in a while.
Yeah. Same here. So I just jumped on it and looked around, and that was kind of basically it. But
yeah. So there's a new XCOM 2 expansion coming out.
I know.
And
I haven't even played 2 yet. I want to.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've played 1 a little bit, but have you read about the new thing? It's pretty interesting.
No, because I've been avoiding it. Yeah.
Well, here I'm gonna tell you about it. They were inspired by Shadow of Mordor.
Okay.
The Nemesis system in Shadow of Mordor.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The new expansion, which is called War of the Chosen. Has a new alien race is the Chosen, and apparently there's like a Nemesis system in play. So like, if you find an alien, a Chosen earlier in the game, he'll keep coming back, and he'll learn from your tactics too.
That's cool.
So he'll get harder. So you have to change the way you fight him as you go.
That's terrifying and awesome.
It sounds pretty
good.
Those
games are hard anyway.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
it was
because
on sale. I don't know if it still
is. It was on sale. Like when they announced the DLC, it went on sale on Steam, and I almost grabbed it, but I don't know if it still is. I just can't.
Yeah.
I got so many things to buy, Dudley. I just needed them to give it to me.
Yeah. Well, we just send them an email and be like, "Hey, we do a podcast. We'd like to review your game that's been out for a while now."
We're so humble. We're so humble. Give me some stuff.
We're just a tiny little podcast. We just want some free games. Give me some freebies. I was thinking about this today or the other day that E3 was only people in media and all that could go to E3, and I was like, oh, we have a podcast. We could go to E3 in theory now.
That's not true anymore. They let in a bunch of.
And I read
they
that
let
today.
in a bunch this year.
They
let in a bunch of people, normal peoples.
They opened it to the public this year. They let 15,000 people come in.
Yeah.
Which apparently caused some problems, but
Yeah. Yeah, you know how it is.
People are people.
People are people.
So I was like, so the time that we could qualify to go to E3, it doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I have one more thing, and you're not going to care, but I'm going to talk about it anyways.
Okay, is it Pokemon Go?
It is Pokemon Go.
Oh, god damn it.
So I've been playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And they had an update this week, and the big thing they changed was the gyms are different.
Yeah, and I heard about that.
Yeah, it's not like there's like a raid system thing going where
yeah.
A team will put a whole bunch of Pokemon in the gym, and then you can't put the same Pokemon twice. It has to be like 6 different ones.
Okay.
And people can raid them, and you have to beat them twice before you can take over the gym. So it's got this weird battle system going. But I can't do anything with it because you have to be level 35 or higher to do it. And I'm only 22.
And what level are you? Oh, okay, so you got a ways to go. To go.
Yeah. But the most interesting thing I've seen online about it is that people are creating themed gyms.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's like all certain types of Pokemon or certain groups of Pokemon. And so like one of them had all as an Eevee and all the different evolutions. And, And so it's cool. The coolest part to me, though, that I can actually do is that they turn gyms into a Pokestop.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Some Pokestops have now become gyms, so there's more of them, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can also earn coins now, or I'm sure you could before, I just didn't do it, so I don't know. You can earn Pokecoins that you use for currency in the game by holding a gym, so the longer you hold it, you can rank up like 50 coins.
Yeah, make it work for you.
Yeah, so that's cool.
That is cool.
So
I'm not going to play it anymore, but it's still cool.
It's pretty good.
I did feel... the other day, I did feel the slightest urge to go into town and drive around and do some Pokemon going, but I did not do it.
Feed the urge, Daniel. Feed it.
No, I don't.
You must take that urge and grab hold of it and stroke it and build it up.
What? No. This is getting weird. Let's stop this.
What? I'm just talking about your urges, Daniel.
Yeah, no. Do you have anything else you need to cover?
No.
I read this real quickly. I wanted to talk about this. I read this little article talking about how apparently Shadow of the Colossus, the original game, wasn't technically finished.
Yeah.
Because apparently they had originally, and it's a finished game. In fact that you can play it and enjoy it and feel
it's a very good game.
It is a great game. But apparently the original plan for it was not to have 16 Colossi, but instead to have 48.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Colossi.
Is that the plural of Colossus? I think Colossus itself is plural.
No, Colossi.
All right. I don't know if that's accurate, but I'm going to go with it.
Yeah. But now I'm curious because I've read that they're gonna the remake is gonna have updated controls and add more stuff to it. I'm curious, are they gonna add more Colossi? Or are they gonna keep?
I don't know. I know the original designer is not really involved with the remake.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious.
I'd be really surprised if they add much more to it.
But I'm also curious.
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't doubt they'll add something to it, but I don't think it's going to be, 32 more Colossi.
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about what I would want. Part of me wants more material, but part of me wants it to be true to the original, but I don't know. I've always wanted more Shadow of the Colossus, so I'm kind of like, well, if they're going to remake it, they might as well make 48 Colossus.
And what are you talking about? You're not going to get to play it anyway. It's coming on the PlayStation 4, and you don't have one.
I don't know. By the time it comes out, maybe I'll have one because I got to get one for Red Dead.
Which doesn't come out till next year as well.
Exactly.
So,
2018
might be the year of the PS4.
For me anyway.
Yeah, at least for you.
Anything else? Anything else you need to cover?
No. Nope.
Okay.
I'm good.
No, I'm sorry. I cut you off. Did you want to say something?
No.
Okay.
No, I got nothing. I'm good.
I got nothing? All right. Please go to our website at deafandumb.com. That's DEAFNDUMB.com. And at the top of the page is all the links. Apparently people were disappointed that Grindr wasn't actually up there.
Who was disappointed? What was their
name? I can't name names. I refuse to name names. I don't want to out anyone. But yeah, you can.
Can you end somebody? Because you can out somebody. Can you end them?
That's not without being arrested for assault.
Okay, all
right. You can go to the top page or links to subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. Whatever your social media thing is. We should, yeah. And, yeah. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Dan May.
And I'm Dudley May. And this has been Deaf and Dumb.
Detect evil.
Detect evil.